At the beginning of this saga, after years of battle, I came to the conclusion that I really hate these gates. This drove me to build some over-engineered sawhorses, just to put some very big posts on, to saw and hack into a couple of big gate posts. We dug some big holes, put the posts in, and built a fence and a mowing strip, and leveled it off and called it good. So I'm going to take some microcarpet slabs, which came from my brother's timber yard, which his wife almost burnt to the ground, including his hay shed. And like the phoenix raising from the ashes, I'm going to mill this timber down and I'm going to build a gate out of it. We have completed the main frame, and in this video we're going to build the rest of the gate. Voila! Look at that. I made a print. So we've got to finish off the main frame and tidy it up a bit. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm making a template to shape the top of the gate, the two posts on the side. I have no idea what you call these bits, but I've seen them on the gates and they look quite cool, so let's put them on the gates. Using a pattern cutter and the router, I can use the template that I made to trim off and smooth the ends of the posts. From there, using a bevel cutter, I can clean up the edges of the gate to give it all a nice bevel around the outside, and then just to tidy the corners off, I'll just take a chisel and just clean the corners off, take the roundness out that the router's left. And with a bit of sanding, that's the main frame done. Now on to the tongue and groove for the inside of the frame. First job is we'll cut it to rough length. I'm cutting it a little bit long because I can trim it off once it's on the gate. And using the big hand plane, we can trim one edge nice and square and flat, so that then I can use the table saw to cut them all to width. I was going to get a proper routing set to do the tongue and groove in these boards, but when I saw how much these things cost and checked my bank balance, well, all I got was a big red. So I decided to make them using the saw bench. Here I'm just starting to cut the channels on one side of the board for the groove. I thought the groove would be the hardest out of the two to do, so I thought I'd do the groove first. So I initially cut each side of the groove. Now, right or wrong, this is the decision I made to clean the rest of those grooves out. I used a router, and I'm going to clamp a few of these together to give a nice flat surface for the router to run along, and then I'll adjust the fence and then clean each of the grooves out. And in the end, it did a pretty bloody good job. The tongue was relatively easy. Just basically set the saw up to the depth you want and the fence to the thickness of the tongue, and then run the boards through. Using the router with a chamfer bit, I chamfered all the edges on the grooves in the tongue to finish the boards off. Slotted all the boards together and clamped them up, and then trim one edge straight. I then used the router to create a tongue at the top of the boards. This tongue is what slots into the recess or the groove that I cut into the main gate frame, and this is what this will slot into. The last board has a similar groove cut into it, but on the side to slot into the side groove that's on the side support for the gate. As you can see here, I'm going to slide it in, and if my maths is right and I've worked this out correct, it should all fit nicely. Done. Ready for some screws and sealing. Some of the boards had a slight bow in them, so to fix this problem I'd just put a couple of chocks on the outside and take the bow out, and that allowed me to flex the board in whatever direction to get that bow out and put the spaces in. And then from there I could then put screws in. And this was basically press and repeat till we got to the end of the gate. Of course, someone wasn't smart enough to realise that you have to actually slide the last board in, so I had to put the gate back on the table to put that last board in. And then realised it wasn't big enough room there to swing the gate around to cut the bottom off, so I had to take it off the table and put it back on the table again. Alright. So once that again, that's a big fucking gate. Then I clamped the straight edge along the bottom and trimmed the last of the boards off. That's the last cut. The gate, the building of the gate is officially done. I'll round those edges over, give it a bit of a sand, and then some coats of finish are going to go on it. So I completely dismantled the gate again to stain it. I wanted to make sure that every component was covered in stain. I put 3 coats on in the end. This makes sure it gives every component of the gate as much protection as possible. There was certainly a lot of mucking around, but I think it was worth the effort. Once it was dry, it was just a process of reassembling for the last time. together. Next thing is we're going to make some bungs for the screw holes. We could just leave them like that, but I think with the amount of effort we've put into the gate so far, might as well put some wooden bungs in there and tidy all that up. Plus it'll give me a chance to have a play with my new toy, which is a bung cutter, 9.5mm bung cutter. You can see that. Cool. Let's put on the drill, see how it works. I pre-hung the hinges just because I thought it was going to be easier to hang the hinges onto the gate first and then set the gate up and then fix it to the frame. The blue mark on the drill is the depth stop, and that's there purely to stop me from drilling through to the other side. Brought in some heavy lifting equipment to help me get the gate into place. Big thanks to Regan, my son, and his mate Brandon for coming over and giving a hand with this, because there was no way in hell I was going to be able to do it by myself. Just come straight out and then we'll stand it up on that corner there and flip it. This one? Yeah. Cool. Alright, the hinges go to the left hand side and this goes to the inside. Yep.
Right, so this is on that.
Correct. Yeah. So when you go up there, it's on the left hand post,
yeah,
and this is facing to us on the inside.
Okay, cool. Sweet.
Put a couple of chunks of wood on the concrete just to sit it on. Would ask.
Well, I remember when there wasn't anything here. You had to put the fucking posts in.
Put the posts in, yep. You would have been following the videos.
Yeah, thoroughly.
You can relax.
Avid watch.
Using the blocks on the bottom of the gate, I used a wooden wedge, and I'd lever up one side with the crowbar, as you see here, and adjust the wedge, and then that got me to level. Yep, that'll do. Once I was happy with the level and the plumbness of the gate, I clamped it into position, and then we could fix the hinges onto the main posts. Put a couple of screws in each hinge to start with, just in case it didn't work and I had to pull the whole lot off and fix something. Check it out. Oh, I love it. Look at that. Swing's nice too. How about that, eh? This is a stop for the non-hinge side of the gate, for the face of the gate to knock up against. This is make sure that the gate is, it helps hold the gate in place, basically. And then I put a couple of sliding bolts on the top and bottom, and then a little handle in the middle as well. And with that last screw, that's the job done. The gate is completed, and I think it looks pretty bloody good. Yeah, no, really happy with the result here. Gate looks good, it swings good, it's fit really nice. I didn't have to make any adjustments to the width. I didn't have to plane any corners off to make it fit. It pretty much fit as I planned it to fit. Thank God for that, because I was expecting to do a lot of adjustments on it to get it work, but it looks really good and it's come up really good. The only thing left to do really is to paint the posts and the fence, but that'll now have to wait till the summertime because it's a bit wet at the moment to do that. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think you would do different, or whether you like them or don't, in the comments section. Thank you for getting to this point of the video and hanging in with me, and I hope you enjoy the content, and if you do, subscribe and hit that thumbs up. Cheers everyone, and on to the next project.